This very well could rank up there with the nastiest customer service battle ever. A California accountant says complaining about his cable service cost him his job. Conal O'Rourke was fired early this year from PricewaterhouseCoopers. Conal O'Rourke and his attorney, Maureen Pettibone-Ryan, join us this morning from Mountain View, California, where it is awfully early. Thanks for getting up to tell us this tale. Good morning to the both of you. I'm going to take you back to 2013 and sort of give the hits, runs, and errors. Let me see if I have this right. Conal, you had a series of issues with your service, internet speed, billing issues, et cetera, that you tried to get resolved. At first, they were sort of half-heartedly, seemingly addressed. Your work takes you out of the country for a couple of months. You return to see things that you had hoped to be resolved were not resolved, and in fact had gotten worse, including you found a delivery of expensive equipment at your door, things you didn't order. You decide to go down to a Comcast store to rectify it, and let's just say it didn't go well. You then took it to corporate, and that's where things went sideways. Have I got it right?
You have it absolutely right.
So you go to corporate, and then what happens?
I reached out to corporate, had a pleasant initial conversation. They said they'd put somebody in touch with me. They did. Individual, Evelyn, had called me asking me what it was about, how can I help you? And I said, do you know why you're calling? She said yes, about a missed appointment. From there it went bad. She stated that the appointment was not missed and that we've documented the color of your home. From there, what happened, she went on to say, what's the color of your house? Just tell us, just tell me the color of your house, and really berating.
So it's starting to get aggressive.
Yeah, it was aggressive, and incidentally, I live in a home that's of Spanish architecture, so there's multicolor. So depending upon which way you look at it, right, it could be terracotta, it could be sand, it could be beige, so exactly what they had in their system, I have no idea.
But again, you're trying to make sense of all of this, and it escalates, and I'm having to truncate it for time because I could talk to you about this for an hour, but for the benefit of our viewers, it escalates to a point where you find out that you are then released from your job. You are fired from your job at PricewaterhouseCoopers. However,
correct.
What was said to you? Why were you told you were fired?
They said that there was an ethics investigation and that it had revealed what they claimed that I had mentioned, that I was with PwC. Did you mention that you were with PricewaterhouseCoopers when you were calling to complain, and why is that an issue even? No. The things that I think got me a little bit on the hot seat was that I had stated that I felt their accounting has overstated, the revenues were overstated.
You're an accountant, so you would know those sort of things.
Exactly.
Right. So I cited some language, and then also that I felt that with everybody having billing problems, that perhaps it needed to go to the PCAOB.
So you wanted to take it up higher because you wanted to sort of end these problems for other people. You figured that you were probably just an example of other problems other people were having. Now, Comcast claims they did not ask for you to be fired, but did not deny that they spoke to your employer about you. They did acknowledge that Comcast executives talked to your hires up at PricewaterhouseCoopers, and you think that's where things get murky and ugly.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, they went to his employer and they told his employer that he had tried to use their name as leverage, that he had violated accounting ethics. That's not a minor charge to make. That's not, they knew what was going to happen once they made that complaint. So that in their apology to Conal, which we learned about from reporters contacting us, they actually didn't reach out to Conal with this apology. We found it online just like everyone else. They say, oh, well, we didn't ask him for him to be fired, but it's sort of very imprecise language that leaves open, the fact that they did, and they've admitted that they started an ethics investigation against him.
PricewaterhouseCoopers says that you violated the terms of the ethical standards and practices. You are aware, as an accountant, about those ethics and practices, are you not?
Correct.
But do you feel that you overstepped? I mean, you know better than anybody the types of things that you should say. Do you feel?
No,
Go ahead.
No, I do not believe that. And they had a very limited investigation, so I was on the phone for directionally less than 25 minutes. Then the next thing I know that I had been terminated, and my input was not even relevant.
I got to read the response actually from Comcast. He wasn't given a chance to respond. Here's the apology Comcast has issued. They said in part, what happened with Mr. O'Rourke's service is completely unacceptable. Despite our attempts to address Mr. O'Rourke's issues, we simply dropped the ball and did not make things right. Mr. O'Rourke deserves another apology from us. We're making this one publicly. You say it's not really that public. Comcast goes on to say, we also want to clarify that nobody at Comcast asked for him to be fired. Ultimately, we have to wrap things up here. Ultimately, what do you want out of this? Do you want to file a lawsuit against Comcast? Do you want your job back? You want to be reinstated?
I would love to be reinstated. I don't think that PwC did the due diligence, and I would love to be reinstated. And I'd also, at this point, Pricewaterhouse has announced that I've been fired for ethics, so that's all over the press, and that's just wrong.
You wish you could go back and undo some of it? Wish you could unsay some of the things you said or handled it any differently? I'm sure that's kept you up at night a little bit.
I don't know how I could have handled it any differently, because I tried for months and months and months
this is a long...
to just have somebody just look at my bill. That's all they had to do. Just please look at it.